Some people say that the king of all exercises is the deadlift, but I say it's a squat. And whatever squat you want to do, front squat, back squat, low bar, high bar, zercher, single leg, pistol squat, split squat, whatever have you. Why I think squats are the king of all exercises is a different video. But in this video, we're going to teach you how to perform the squat. Specifically, a back squat with a barbell. As a preface, I think people overcorrect and over-cue and actually over-instruct as well in the squat. So I'm going to give you 3 main things to think about when you're squatting, and that's it. If you want more about how people over-cue and actually common cues that people use, I made a video that I'll put in the top right about the validity and actually what they mean and how to interpret them. But essentially, if you do these 3 things that I talk about in this video, your squat is going to be as good as it ever needs to be for general health benefits and for building an ass. Keep in mind, if you're training for a weight-based performance like powerlifting, you might need to do more than what's covered in this video. The first question you want to ask yourself is, where is your weight? When squatting, you want your weight to be equally distributed on your left and your right foot. The more weight on one side is going to cause deviations in optimal knee trajectory, and in other words, your knees will kink. This potentially places excessive stress on the lateral and anterior ligaments of your knee, but as long as equal weight is distributed on your left and your right foot, you'll be fine. But you also want to center your weight between the front and the back of your foot. If your weight is too far towards your heels, you're likely to lean forward from the torso an excessive amount, which may not be great for your lumbar spine. If your weight is too far towards your toes, your knees may drive too far forward and place excessive strain on those interior ligaments of the knee. How high is the risk? Well, it won't immediately put you in the hospital. But starting out, if you're not used to it, it may produce pain or excessive soreness in the back and then in the knee. Or it may not, it may be fine. But getting in the habit of traditionally safe weight distribution when you're squatting is a great habit and a great foundation to build when you're starting to learn to squat. Additionally, if your weight is in your toes or in your heels, you're more likely to fall over. The second thing to think about is don't be afraid to lean forward. A straight back does not mean an upright back. You can have a straight back and have it lean forward. Right now, my back is straight, but I'm also leaning forward. You can see that I don't have excessive lumbar curvature and I don't have excessive thoracic curvature. The big thing to remember here is that your spine wants to take load from top to bottom, where it's the strongest, rather than from side to side, or if it's out of alignment. The bar wants to be over the center of your foot. The farther out the bar gets from the center of your foot, the more shear load your spine has to take.
However, if you have to press your chest out to get the bar to this line,
you're probably excessively extending your spine, which places unequal load on the intervertebral disc. A good rule is to pretend that you're jumping as high as you can. Before leaving the ground, when your hips are the lowest point, stop. This is the position of your torso that you want at the bottom of your squat, so just make it happen. The third thing to think about is, where are your knees? Recent trends in squats call for people to push their knees out on the concentric phase or the coming up phase. I don't understand this. I'm not saying it's wrong, but I'm also not saying it has any sort of evidence to support that it's right. Your knee is roughly a hinge joint, which means it typically swings in just one plane. Have you ever tried to twist or pull open a door like you would a car engine hood? It doesn't go very well, and you're probably going to do damage to the wall in some way. Probably the same thing applies to your knees in a squat. There is a concern for a knock knee position or a valgus position. I talk about this in my squat cue video, but as long as your knees are pointing in the same direction as your toes, you shouldn't be at any more risk for excessive pain, excessive soreness, or excessive strain when squatting. Exercise is not rocket science. Just push yourself a little bit outside of your comfort zone in a safe manner most days of the week. Overcorrecting fundamental movements like a squat make it unapproachable for people just starting out into their fitness journey or people who want to change up their routine. Small deviations within ideal form is okay. You should always strive to improve, but if anybody ever makes you think indirectly or directly that you're doing something wildly wrong while adhering to these 3 guidelines, either they need to get their ego checked or they don't know what they're talking about. As long as you follow the steps noted in this video, keep your weight in the middle of your foot, make sure your back is straight, not upright, and make sure your knees are pointing in the same direction as your toes, your squat is most likely to be safe enough to continue doing in your program. However, if you have any reservations, please speak with your physician or your physical therapist because they know you best. Thank you for watching, and I hope you get to enjoy the love-hate relationship we all have with squats. It might be tough for a while, but the exercises that you hate doing are probably the ones that are going to benefit you the most. Please let me know if you have any concerns or questions in the comments below. And consider subscribing if you want more long drawn out fitness tips on how to do things that you'll learn to love. Thank you and good luck.